And then this next section which we move into is away from our subject-specific focus and is based more around the ways of being co-op. As you know by now, the badge that you wear on your chest is a co-op badge, and that means something. It means something to the school, and it means something to the organisation that it represents, the co-op. And there are lots of co-op values, and we've been through those in assemblies, etc. But it's that application, that translation of, well, what do those values actually mean? And when the powers that be, the brainiacs of the co-op, thought about putting together, well, how can we be more co-op? How can we act and live those values? These are the 4 things that they came up with, these ways of being co-op. And that is do what matters most, be yourself always, show you care, and succeed together. And I always do it in that order, because I think if you do those 3 things first, then we will succeed together. So the next set of awards that we've got are more based around those as we move towards more generalised awards and awards which we would say are the bigger prizes right at the end. You can see these lovely, beautiful trophies awaiting to be awarded as now our final 3 for the event. Before we move to that, though, I just want us to just take a second to remember a previous winner of our Adversity Award, this young man, Zain Bakari, who unfortunately passed away this year. He was a really popular member of our school, a former winner of our Achievement in Adversity Award, and unfortunately he lost his battle with a life-limiting illness earlier on this year. I spoke to him and his sister at Parents' Evening during lockdown, not only a few months ago, and it was lovely to see him, his bright smiling face, and those people that knew him knew that he was a lovely, warm character. We will miss him greatly. So if you can just put your hands together for a round of applause for Zain, please. It was a great event to have him there. He's got wonderful memories. Okay, so if I can hand over to Mr. Randell, who's going to start with our awards on behalf of our Resilience Awards.
Thank you, sir. So the Oasis Resilience Awards are given to students who have shown superb determination and resilience to overcome their barriers to learning and succeed regardless. Both of our winners this year have had exceptional years despite all the disruption and constant change of COVID, and fully deserve every success they will undoubtedly enjoy going forward. So the first Oasis Resilience Award goes to Daya Bassi. Daya has found all the challenges this year has brought extremely challenging, but her determination to succeed and do what matters most has never faltered. She's continued to make exceptional progress across the curriculum and is on track to achieve incredible outcomes next year. She shows she cares every day, looking out for her peers and all the staff she encounters. She's one of the most polite, caring and genuinely nice people I've ever encountered. She will always take time to check people are okay and do everything she can to help them if they need anything. In class, she's always looking out for her peers and is keen to help them understand their learning, ensuring they all succeed together. She's always front of the queue to congratulate anyone else when they've achieved something. She's herself always and brings a fabulous sense of humour and drive to be the best Daya that she can be in every aspect of her life. She truly is a wonderful young lady. The second award goes to Corbin Greenwood. Corbin is a young man who's really matured and developed this last year. He's continued to make excellent progress despite the challenges of COVID and has an absolute drive to succeed. His attitude to learning has improved dramatically, and he's shown superb resilience in his remote learning especially, trying to do what matters most and ensure that he keeps up with his education, despite finding working at home incredibly challenging. He's grown and developed in his confidence and is now comfortable with being himself always, bringing his unique sense of humour and his fantastic personality to all that he does. He's currently meeting his targets across the curriculum, and I have no doubt that he will continue to put the effort in to ensure he succeeds academically as well as socially and sets himself up for a great future. The second set of awards that I have the privilege to introduce are the Partnership Resilience Awards. The Partnership Resilience Awards are again for students who have done a fantastic job this year of working really hard and succeeding. Unfortunately though, both of the winners this year are currently self-isolating. But the first award goes to Josephina Balagova. Josephina has worked incredibly hard this year. She always does what matters most and has demonstrated real maturity and diligence in her approach to learning. As a result, she's made excellent progress in all of her subjects. Josephina is a very thoughtful and considerate member of the partnership class. She always shows she cares by looking out for her peers and is supportive and approachable in the class, ensuring that all of them can succeed together. Over the last year, she's handled the challenges of COVID incredibly well and has not allowed it to impact on her warm and bubbly personality. The second award goes to Callum Light. Callum's a young man who truly embodies the value of always being himself. Callum's made fantastic progress this year across a number of subjects, but especially in English and drama. He's really grown in confidence and demonstrated amazing effort and skill in his GCSE drama performance just last week. Callum coped incredibly well with remote learning and did what mattered most every single day. He was always the first member of the Year 10 partnership class to start and complete his online lessons. Although he really missed being at school, he made the most of his time at home and got involved in other initiatives as well as keeping up with all of his work on Google Classroom. He participated in a 30-day wellbeing programme through the SAS, no, not that one, the School Advisory Service, and was specially commended for his contributions. We are very proud of him, so well done to both of those winners.
Thank you, sir. Okay, well, we will move straight through, I think. We're on to Miss Cronshaw for our Key Stage Awards.
Good afternoon, everybody. As we rapidly move towards the end of what can only be described as an unprecedented year, I can confidently say that students in Year 7 and 8 have risen to the difficult challenges they have been faced with. Despite the complexity of blended learning, many students have realised fantastic progress across many curriculum subjects. They've demonstrated outstanding engagement in and commitment to learning, embracing that both challenge and failure is key to success. Both year groups have had to navigate the new norms: social distancing, mask wearing, working in bubbles, and learning for periods of time remotely. I've been overwhelmed and massively proud of how resilient the vast majority of students have adapted to the use of technology like we've never used it before. Against incredible odds, they've continued to make progress. As we look forward to what we can only hope, with fingers crossed, is a more settled academic year in September, we are welcoming another 185, possibly more, new students into Year 7. And they come from 45 different feeder primary schools. I know, and I'm very confident, that our current Year 7 and 8 students will be shining role models for our future generation of co-op students. That being said, although it's been incredibly difficult to select 4 students for the co-op ways of being for Key Stage 3, we have 4 students here today who exemplify those co-op ways to a T. Be yourself always. This young lady is always courteous and has amazing manners. She always shows respect to teachers and staff at Priesthorpe. She is well liked amongst all her peers and is an absolute pleasure to have in Year 8 and the Key Stage. The Be Yourself Award goes to Inga. The Show You Care Award. When this young man came to Priesthorpe, he would agree his start was a little wobbly. However, he's listened to advice and reflected on mistakes he's made and has made great improvement all round, as I know he cares about his time here and his future ahead of him. The Show You Care Award goes to Carl. The Succeed Together Award goes to a young man who demonstrates consistent, excellent behaviour and is always happy to help other students to succeed as well. Devon is a pleasure to have in both the year group and the Key Stage as well. The Succeed Together Award goes to Devon. And finally, but definitely not least, do what matters most. This young man is a very enthusiastic person and he passes this enthusiasm on to everybody, students and teachers alike. He always tries his best, he's committed to everything that he does, and all would describe him as a responsible and extremely trustworthy young student. The Do What Matters Most goes to Junior. Congratulations everybody, if you can give them a massive round of applause.
Okay, so over to the Key Stage 4 Ways of Being Awards. So this year in Key Stage 4, students have enjoyed a varied and broad experiences, being challenged to be their best in lessons, to supplementing their education, taking part in a diverse and range of enrichment activities. These have included developing social skills and mindsets within PHSE and coaching, and experiencing field trips, like Tom falling in the canal several times last week, in several different subjects, allowing students the opportunity to apply classroom knowledge to real life experiences. Year 9 pupils have made informed and thoughtful decisions about the courses they would like to pursue in the coming years. This has been fueled by a focus on their aspirations for the future, whether that be further education, apprenticeships, or part-time learning whilst working or volunteering. Future career choices and the means to get there continue to be a focus for Year 10, who have recently participated in an extremely successful work experience and career aspirations week. Feedback was very positive from the students, the staff, and the organisations involved in the scheme. Years 9 to 11 have undertaken a range of assessments this year. Year 11 participated in an unprecedented exam experience to inform teacher-assessed grades, and in Years 9 and 10, they sat full trial exams, giving them an insight into what to expect in the coming years. This will ensure they are confident and prepared when they reach the end of Year 11. Pupils within Key Stage 4 have arrived equipped, calm, and prepared for these exams. They have every reason to feel confident and proud. It has been extremely difficult to select only 4 students from Key Stage 4 for the Co-op Ways of Being Awards, but the following students really do personify the meaning of each award. Do what matters most. Senior Magal, Year 10. In a year where she must have had continued worry about those closest to her, she has continued to work as diligently as ever. She puts every effort into helping those around her, whether at school or at home. Zinnia shows daily how caring and considerate she is and will do the right thing every time. Show you care. For Faith Beale in Year 9. She has supported 2 new starters, offered to buddy up with them and help them get settled into a new school environment. Faith is an individual who always shows concern for her peers. Sometimes she overthinks things and cares a little bit too much, but she is always happy to try and rectify any situation in the right way. Be yourself always. Isha Sagu, Year 10, is unapologetically herself always. Isha has a strong sense of who she is and what she will become. Isha will stay true to her morals regardless of any situation she finds herself in. She shows integrity daily. Succeed together. Harmon Gill, Year 9. Always willing to offer suggestions to help improve the school and environment. He is often part of the school teams and this year joined the student leadership team. He is always helping his peers and acting as a role model for others. I'm confident he will bring some good ideas to the leadership team, helping us all succeed together. Well done to you 4. Please come and collect your certificates.
Okay, so our sixth form provision aims to raise aspirations of our post-16 students, to develop their skills and attributes, and to make them informed to make decisions about their future careers. The last 2 years has been incredibly difficult for those students coming into post-16 due to the circumstances that we faced with COVID-19. As a result, we have to say that numerous students have gone out of the way to go above and beyond to do independent home learning, actually to excel in subjects, working independently at home, accessing live lessons across 2 different schools, and accessing virtual experiences online rather than actually being able to go out and see different places. It's been incredibly difficult for us to make a decision of who should actually be awarded because we've had so many students who have gone above and beyond. But as a result, we have decided that our post-16 students who have been awarded is first of all Mohammed Arif, do what matters most. In summer 2020, Mohammed didn't obtain A-level results, which he felt he could walk away and be proud of achieving. So after 8 months out of school, as a result of COVID-19, he made the decision to stay and retake year 13 to improve his grades. and give him the opportunity to pursue an undergraduate course in pharmacy. That was a tough decision to make after a considerable amount of time out of school and doing home learning. Nevertheless, he actually returned back into year 13 with a more mature approach, and staff have been incredibly impressed with his determination to succeed and his commitment shown towards his studies. We felt this award was thoroughly deserved. We wish him well in his future and sincerely hope this allows him to pursue a degree in the medical field that he wishes to go into. Secondly, Zara Khan, Show You Care. Zara transferred from a different post-16 provider in the second term of year 12. That's quite a hard move to make when you actually set into a sixth form late on in the year. She's demonstrated her commitment to her studies by her diligence, mature approach to her work, and her incredibly positive relationship she's formed with staff. She's worked really hard to strive towards her target grades, even after having a 10-day isolation period the first week of our assessments. Due to ill health, she's unable to be here today, but we wish her the best, and we know that she will go on to pursue her career in law, initially as an undergraduate at the University of Leeds. Next one is Sanya Hanif, Be Yourself Always. Sanya joined our post-16 as a level 2 student. She completed the year successfully, then transitioned back into year 12 to begin her level 3 courses in health and social care and sociology. During this time, we anticipated that her expectations were too high, and she was possibly going to follow a path feeling that she was not going to succeed in the way she wanted to. However, this had the opposite effect. She has jumped every single hurdle she's been faced with, and when the bar's been risen, she's asked, how high, how do I get there, and what do I need to do? When the whole country went into lockdown on January the 5th, she was at school, in the snow, ready to sit her health and social care exam, when many chose not to. I think her end result fueled her determination even more when she obtained a distinction above target. She's been one of the most resilient, determined students that we've ever had in the last 3 years, and no matter what, she's stayed true to herself and never given up. We wish her all the luck in the world as she embarks on an undergraduate degree in diagnostic radiography. And last but not least is George Hargrave, Succeed Together. George is one of the most academic students in post-16. However, he's not aware of how incredibly talented he actually is. He's an exceptional student who doesn't just meet with academic success, but excels in all that he puts his mind to. He has consistently utilised the support of staff in the academy to enable him to strive towards his high target grades. George is one of the few students who worked through and successfully completed the extended project qualification in addition to his 3 A-levels. Against the backdrop of one of the most difficult times in education, he persevered and excelled, producing an in-depth study into the political and moral implications of the use of atomic weapons in World War II. Managing to submit the project, which had ended up being largely self-driven by the circumstances beyond his control, is worthy of praise in itself. However, George surpassed the expectations his teacher had. His research was extensive, of great depth, and the evidence was very vast. He delivered his presentation and the research in a maturity well beyond his years. George has got no idea how incredibly talented he has become in his subjects, and staff have nothing but praise to say about the success that he's worked towards. We know that he will flourish as he leaves Cope Academy, and we wish him all the best in his future. He's still undecided about whether to continue with an undergraduate degree or do an apprenticeship, but we know that he will be very successful.
Hi everyone, it's brilliant to see you. We didn't know if we'd be able to stage today's ceremony, even up until this morning, because there's so many staff having to self-isolate. So I think this week, the sports day and presentation afternoon, and seeing the academy and you guys at your brilliant better, it's just fabulous to see you. And just before we go any further, all this organisation takes weeks and weeks and weeks of planning there. So can I just ask you to put your hands together for Mr. Bryan and Mr. Button, please? So the young man winning this award today, it speaks volumes about the regard in which teachers hold him. I sent an email asking for staff's reflections and thoughts about James, and I had way too many to include in this little speech here. So here's a few of them though. So for Mr. Berry says that James is one of the most talented musicians I've ever worked with. His performance at the showcase in 2019 will always be a memorable one. The expression and fluency in which he plays the piano is incredible. What I admire most about James is the sheer level of precision and detail he applies to everything he does. And this shows in both his performances as a pianist and a producer. And I think most significantly, he's also the most humble. Mr. Lipinski says, I had the pleasure of teaching James at GCSE for RS and guiding him through the EPQ in year 13. In the most tumultuous of times in education, he showed great resilience and drive. He is cool, calm and collective, and demonstrates a level-headedness and resolve greater than some adults twice his age, 3 times. Miss Hill, in science. James is such a talented student, but also incredibly humble, as twice that word has appeared. In the 3 years I taught him as a triple scientist, then, as an A-level biologist, he asked me a host of fascinating questions. Many I couldn't answer, but his persistent quest for knowledge is so inspiring. I feel having taught James has made me a better teacher. He's such a kind soul. When he left school earlier this year, he gifted me a physics book that he had found interesting, as he knew I had just picked up teaching year 9 and year 10. I think it's highly likely that James will make a significant impact in his chosen field of study, perhaps a new discovery. I am so excited to see what he accomplishes in the future. From Miss Metcalf, James is one of the most measured and thoughtful students I have ever taught. I taught him from year 7 to 11. He was noticeable for his quiet determination and his polite, respectful and mature manner. He set himself apart by doing nothing special other than being himself, always, unswervingly. He's in his shorts today, by the way. He's an absolute credit to himself and his family. Patient, honest, trustworthy, astute and integrity are all words that come to mind. A great human being. I spoke to James this morning and I asked him to share with me some of his memories of Priesthorpe during his time with us. And these are, and I mean honestly, these are his exact words that he shared with me. You form a caring bond with teachers that I don't believe you'd get in most schools. It's a tight community at Priesthorpe and there is always a baseline level of respect and boundaries that aren't overstepped. Our diversity forces students to be open-minded. How great to go to a school where everyone's going to treat each other well, irrespective of their race or gender. I've spoken to lots of teachers who didn't teach me and asked them questions. They helped me push myself further. And this last bit I think is just profound, I really do. It's never been about the grades for me. It's been the habits you build over years. It's the process, not the product. It's the effort that's important, not the outcome. I say those things to parents on Parents' Evening and Open Evening. I really do. Profound words, they really are. And finally, I spoke to James's mum Helen last night, and we had a lovely 20-30 minute conversation, and she could not be prouder. And she asked me to thank James's teachers, who she described as great people. She also told me and asked me to share that it's been a very tough year for the family, with Helen facing a very significant health challenge from which thankfully the future looks really bright. She said that James has achieved all he has against this backdrop and that he's been her absolute rock. A great award for a great human being. Well done, James. Be really careful with this one. There you go, mate. All right, well done, fantastic.
So good afternoon everybody. For those that don't know me, I'm Rachel Staff and I'm Chair of Governors here. I also work for the Co-op as well. I've had the privilege of presenting this award actually for the last 3 years. Actually it's a lot longer, 2017 I think was the first time I presented it. And I'm absolutely astounded every time I come here and present the awards about hearing about all of your achievements and everything that you have all done. And today is no exception. And actually I was reflecting and thinking about kind of the journey that I think every single one of us in this room, teachers included, have been on in this last year. And I think for me, this award ceremony today is even more important than all the years that have gone beyond before that. And the reason why I say that is because I think, we've talked a little bit about it being a really unprecedented year and a year that has been incredibly challenging for every single one of us. And I'll actually share something with you right here, right now. I'm stood here and this is the first time I've actually presented to a room physically in probably about 18 months. I've done it generally on Teams, I've done it online. And it's actually quite nerve-wracking actually being up here, and it's something usually that you kind of adapt in terms of that skill. But it's been a really, really unprecedented year for every single one of us, and everything that you've achieved is really, really critical to you thinking about actually that year that has gone before. Mr. Button talked before about greatness and talked about some of the traits that actually are really important in terms of greatness, so around things like determination, resilience, hard work. I'd also add flexibility into that, because actually every single one of you have demonstrated how you're flexible to the challenges and how you've overcome all of those barriers that have actually been put in front of you. And actually if I think about that from a work perspective, my advice to you today is very much about think about the things that you've gained in this year, not the things that you've lost, but all the skills and all the attributes and all the traits that you have gained from this very, very hard and difficult year. Because actually as you go into college, as you go into further studies, as you go to university and some of you go into work, those traits and those characteristics that you've developed through this year will absolutely stand you in brilliant stead for the rest of your future. I do have an award to present, so I'll stop rabbiting on, but it was important for me to share that with you. And this award is for the Governor's Award for Achievement. And I've got a real pleasure to present this award to Dilraj Gill. Because Dilraj, for everybody, we know it's been a real challenging year for people, but actually Dilraj has gone above and beyond this year. I asked some of her teachers about kind of what made Dilraj so special and why she should achieve this award. But come rain or shine, online or in the classroom, she's arrived determined, dedicated to understand the work that presents her, and also in terms of the real thirst for knowledge. And when that knowledge was complex or difficult, she really dug in and really committed herself to the challenge of actually achieving what she was set out to achieve. I caught up with Dilraj, I think it was Wednesday evening, I think we had a quick chat, and just asked her a little bit around some of the things that she wanted to achieve kind of in her life really. And Dilraj is planning to study A-levels in September in chemistry, biology, and we had a bit of a debate about whether it was going to be maths or not, because actually she wants to go on and she wants to study medicine at Leeds. And also in terms of on the backdrop of all of this year, she's also managed to secure herself some work experience at Specsavers, which is obviously going to stand her in really good stead for obviously kind of what she wants to achieve, sort of particularly kind of from a medical career, because all of that type of experience is just absolutely unfounded kind of in that space. So it does give me really, really great pleasure to present this award to Dilraj, so well done. Flash.
Okay, so this award has been nominated to Aisha Hussain, who Aisha joined our sixth form from another secondary school along with two of her peers. into Year 12. She came with Aisha and Iram, so those staff that taught the girls will know that Aisha was never very far apart from her peers. A few months after joining our post-16 provision, it became apparent that Aisha was struggling to have the confidence and self-belief in her own ability, which impacted on her being able to respond successfully to the demand of her post-16 courses. Aisha struggled to attend lessons and often felt overwhelmed at the prospect of the work that she needed to complete and being in the classroom. However, staff were able to see what great potential Aisha had in their subjects, as they were aware of how successful she'd been at GCSE. In addition, she had 2 extended periods at home doing home learning due to COVID-19. I feel incredibly proud and privileged to have been part of a team within this academy that has made such a huge impact on the well-being and self-belief of a student within our care, and the wraparound support that we've given, in addition to the close and valued friendships she's secured with her peers. This enabled Aisha to overcome many of the barriers that she'd been faced with on a daily basis. As Aisha left the sixth form, she maintained that she'd actually received more support from the staff within this academy in the last 2 years in comparison to the support she received during her 5 years at secondary school. She walked out of the academy with her head held high, confident and secure in the knowledge that she has made the biggest turnaround in the last 2 years in comparison to any other student. She's incredibly proud of the person that she's become today, and actually feels for the first time confident and believes in herself. She's had an incredible journey over the last 2 years to get to this place, and I feel confident that after overcoming these barriers, she can face anything in the future. She's going to go on to study biomedical science at university, and know that after she's overcome the hurdles that we have watched her face in the last 2 years, she will go on and be incredibly successful. So it's well deserved for her. Okay? We just had a phone call this morning to say that unfortunately she's unable to come today because she's had to isolate. So we'd just like you to give a very big round of applause in Aisha. I will make sure that she receives the award when she comes in for results and holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that brings us pretty much to the end of our awards presentation for this year. Let's finish with just a huge round of applause for ourselves and everybody that's been awarded and nominated. And I never had the pleasure of teaching James. James I only really know from playing the piano in various awards presentations and years assemblies that we've done. But I did know Aisha, I taught Aisha and I've taught Dilraj, and they are tremendous winners. We make fantastic progress here. We tackle all of the challenges head on, and we support our learners in order that they can make that progress for themselves. It's what we do here, and we do it fantastically. You've heard lots and lots of words, so no more words from me other than that you are fantastic. Thank you for sharing this event with us, and we hope to see you at our more glitzy, glamorous and COVID-free event next year. Have a great summer. Congratulations, and you are free to leave.